Here's my wonderful audience. Hi everybody, my name is Tony Ware. I'm glad you're attending. Have you ever heard somebody claim to be gluten and dairy free? If that's all the information you have, you might assume that this person has food sensitivities to wheat, gluten, and dairy. Or they might have a disease like celiac disease that then you just should not eat wheat, gluten at all. But in fact, a lot of people go on a gluten-free, dairy-free diet because it's healthier and they want to lose weight. So today I'm going to show you how to make a gluten-free, dairy-free, vegetarian gravy and also a chicken broth, free-range chicken broth gravy that's gluten-free and dairy-free. Gravy can make or break your meal in the eyes of the people that come to eat at your house. If you make a great gravy, they will talk about it, and they will maybe even talk about it the next day and the next day after that. If you make a bad gravy, they'll talk about that too, but probably more like behind your back. And, you know, nobody likes that. So I'm going to show you how to make a really great gravy. Fortunately, I was once an assistant chef, and I had to make meals for people with special diets. And my favorite substitute for wheat flour, back then and now, millet flour. Millet flour tastes great, and I always love olive oil. So the first step in making a great gravy is to make the roux. It looks something like this. And the way you make it look like that, kind of pasty-like, is to use a 1/4 cup of millet flour and an 1/8 cup of olive oil. Roux is a thickening agent. It is used to thicken gravies, it is used to thicken soups and sauces, and it's very easy to make. Once you've mixed your two ingredients together, your millet flour and your olive oil, you put it on the stove and you put it on low heat, stirring frequently for 3 minutes until it bubbles too. And then you set it aside and let it cool. You want it to cool slightly before you add it to your broth to make your gravy. While it's cooling, you bring your broth to a boil. Let's say I've got 2 cups of vegetarian broth in this pan here, and it's boiling. So now I take my roux. I add a small amount of roux while I'm stirring, constantly. And then I add a little bit more until it starts to thicken. You can see it thicken, you can feel it thicken. Then you turn it down. Reduce the heat, yes. And add a little bit more roux until it gets to the thickness that you like. Now you've got gravy. You do exactly the same thing with the chicken broth, and then you've got that kind of gravy. Now that you've got gravy, you want to put some spice in it. I go for salt and pepper. I like white pepper because you can't see it in it. Some people like to see the pepper in their gravy. I don't. Some people might want to put coriander, or parsley, sage, rosemary, or thyme. Boy, that was a great song, actually. Anyway, now you've got that excellent gravy, a gravy you can be proud of. So, let me run over the steps one more time. You make the roux. Millet flour, olive oil. 1/4 cup millet flour, 1/8 cup olive oil. Low heat, stir constantly, frequently. Set it aside and let it cool after about 3 minutes. Yes. Heat up your broth till it's boiling. While it's boiling, you add your roux slowly to your boiling broth until it thickens. Then you reduce the heat, and then you add a little bit more roux to it very slowly till it thickens a little bit more and turn it off. Then you add your spice. There you go. You've got a wonderful gravy. If you would like more recipes for gluten-free, dairy-free dishes, you can go to a blog called Intricate, which you can find on the internet easily. Google it. Great recipes. I can remember what my great-grandma once said. She said, if you can't make good gravy, Why did you grow the potatoes? Would somebody like to try the gravy?
Yes.
Thank you.